Now, hello everyone. I0386SX, and this is going to probably be a more boring video in comparison to some of the ones that I've done. See, the subject at hand is going to be about this Caviar 11600 hard drive. Now, there is a little bit of a story behind these. One, they were notoriously unreliable. Just this particular one stands out. A 1.6 gig hard drive was in the late 90s. I think this is 1998. So this was almost 1999. So this was one also an extremely small drive for the time. And don't hold me to this, but these are extraordinarily rare. There has never been one that's been recorded as functional. Hopefully we change that tonight. But I am going off of secondhand information, but it is believed that Western Digital did recall this particular line of drives as opposed to the 31600 and the 21600, which are significantly more reliable. But yeah, it is also, these were recalled by Western Digital, and legend pretty much said they were gone by the early 2000s. Again, don't know if that's the case. I couldn't find anything for sure to back that claim up, but yeah, these are extraordinarily rare. That is the only thing I've been able to verify about it. I know I'm going to do some blasphemy here, and I'm going to open this sucker up. It is believed that this drive was never used until today. Oh, it's got a scratch on it, so maybe that's not the case. They might have vacuum sealed it, but okay, I don't feel quite as bad. But that is the Caviar 11600. This is a single platter drive in 2 heads. It's a very simple drive, but it is in between that went to that 3rd generation drive and transitioning out of their 2nd gen drives with the colored bars like this. Let me go find a 31600 or a 21600. We'll compare the outsides of them. I'll show you. There is some differences. All right, we have our 2 drives in comparison. Very, very different looking drives for the most part. And of course, they have this logo on it. It's still the blue, but this one looks significantly more modern versus the more stamp date on this one. The 21600 was the same thing. And you notice the one on the right is the silver shell. This is when Western Digital started to go back to that half silver, half black. PCBs are significantly different. Jumper settings are significantly different. So the alleged unicorn is significantly different. So, let's not waste any more time, as I know some of the reviewers are going to be, this is way too long for a video about a hard drive. Well, we're going to go put this thing through some stress tests and hope it works. So, bear with me 1 second here. I got to get a computer set up on the bench, and then we will continue on. Okay, the drive is now in a real computer. This is a Cyrix 233 megahertz, I believe. At the CPU speed doesn't really matter, but it is the 11600. And this thing is going to get fired up for the very first time, possibly. The very first time. So I'm going to try my best to put the microphone next to the hard drive and fire this computer up. Wish me luck. Well, if you heard that, on first initial startup, it sounds just fine. It actually sounds just fine. I don't know how else to explain that, but we'll do a Control-Alt-Delete. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on my capture card, but and I legit don't know what it did. Okay, so we got a standard CMOS. It did not auto-detect that time. Weird. You know what? We'll just send it. Try that again. It detects the drive. BIOS isn't locked up or anything, as you can tell. So here we go. We're going to boot off of a floppy. We're going to F-disk this thing and format it. We'll see where it goes. Alright, and we don't need the CD-ROM yet, because we are going to F-disk it first, and then we'll format it. I don't have any fancy scan tools or anything like that, so this may be a very basic hard drive test / install of OS. Yeah, that's okay. And remarkably enough, F-disk so far is doing its job, so that is an excellent thing. It is telling me to exit, and we will do it again. I do have another capture device that may do a better job with this. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I'm just thankful it's not playing Scared Turtle tonight. We all know how fast floppies aren't. Yeah, let's do formats. I don't think I can do a quick format, but we're going to try. Yes, we'll have to do the old fair and true unconditional format. Seems like it's going fairly fast so far, so we'll see how this goes. The bad news for the drive is if there are bad sectors, it may not be entirely the drive's fault in this case. It was wrapped in a very questionable way. It was wrapped in about 1 inch of newspaper with a bubble wrap envelope, and it went cross country like that, so this could be a disaster video or a disaster in the making. But regardless, so far so good. The capture device so far is not detecting any bad sectors, so that is a very good thing. And it's this. We could have one of those situations where we have one of the last working 11600 drives in existence. So let's see how this goes and see if I can put in enough filler to yeah, I guess I can't. But I guess we'll stick around here and let it do its thing. It's going fairly fast. It's going okay. I'm not sure what the format speed is on this model versus the earlier Western Digital 1.6 gig models that they have out. But that's not the scope of this video tonight. We'll just let this do its thing, and yeah. And it's really too bad Microsoft never allowed the quick format for system, but there may be a logical explanation behind that. Who knows, maybe DOS did it and I just didn't know that, but I am very late into the wasn't really into the DOS era until fairly recently, so there may be things that other people may know and all these little switches with Windows that I just simply don't know or don't care to know, or well, I shouldn't say I don't care to know, but things I legitimately didn't know. We'll go with that. Oh, it's clicking. I think we found some bad sectors. Yep, so this drive is not perfect by any means. Yeah, that is relatively unfortunate, but this is probably part of the reason why they were recalled. The seller did ship it in a stupid way, so that isn't going to help, but we'll give this a minute. If it's still finding bad sectors, then I will cut it off until it formats, if it formats. Yeah, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to let it format, and then we'll continue. Well, we did make it, although I want to say that this went on for about 15 minutes trying to reallocate sectors. Yeah, it's got... let's see. It's not that bad. I mean, considering what the drive is, it's a whatever situation. I think that's the seat that's in. Just kind of curious to see what it did. You know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not too bad. You got a small section here, but we'll run through this and we'll see what happens. All right, we are getting towards the end. It did find at least one other bed cluster, sector, or whatever you want to call it. ScanDesk calls them clusters, but I only had to fix that one, and it's been moving along ever since, so we'll see what happens here. Alright, yeah, I did find one. The way my screen is, it in the white, it really blends in extremely well. A little too well. Yeah, well. Alright. I don't know. I don't think we have a D drive on here. That's that. Alright, let's restart this thing. Let's try to put an OS on it. Just trying to read the CD-ROM right now. Which I know works, because I installed Windows 95 on another drive on this thing. Oh, it is not detecting a CD-ROM now. Weird. Or is it? I'm not sure. I don't think it is. We shall see. Oh, it did. Okay. Don't do anything stupid, no. There we are. We're going to make a directory. All right, while we're doing that, I will come back and we'll get this Windows 95 installed. Windows 95 install started, rather. Okay, we are now booted off of the hard drive. So let's see what we can do here. Let's get the usual stuff on here, and we're going to run another scan disk just for good measure. Oh. I've never had that problem before, but whatever. Provided this drive doesn't self-destruct, it shouldn't be a problem. Typical's good. Oh, snap. One moment, please, while I go put key in. Alright, key is in. I actually do have all those things, but whether they'll detect or not is going to be a question in its own. Hard drive's doing a lot of clunky, but the hard drive light itself is not doing a whole lot on this machine. Not that you can tell, but... little by little. It's kind of interesting. Let's see if we can get some quick crunch action into this. Not sure if you could hear that hard drive noise. I hope you can, but I tried. Alright, so we'll do the most common components. That's fine. Oh, snap. I did a dumb. No startup disk. I think this should fall under that, it shouldn't be the, there's a bug in Windows 95. I think it's 350 megahertz is the bug, where you have to run a CPU program. But, it's kind of stopped here, so I'm going to stop it, and we'll continue on as soon as, we move on to our next stage. Alright, just about done with this portion of the install. Let's wait patiently. And yes, we'll keep that version of the file, no big deal. For testing purposes anyway. Screen's a little slow, but at least it's working. Yeah, my VGA capture device has a mind of its own here. Yeah, that hard drive is really crunching. Don't know if you hear that, but it wasn't without effort. Oh, snap. I'm going to use the wrong mouse again, aren't I? Hey, Satan. God, it looks like hot garbage on this, but I think it's 16 colors. Alright, so all the fun stuff. I shouldn't have to do much of anything here. I don't have a printer, so the time zone part of this might be legitimately the most difficult part of this second part. I did it right. Central time, that's where I am. It's going to ask me to restart one more time. And that should get us a Windows install. And the screen gets shyer. Oh, there we go. Oh, I missed it. That's okay. Shoot. And just like that, we have Windows 95 on a Western Digital 11600L. And it's going to try and install the IE garbage on air, but yeah, there it is, 213 megs. The first or so are okay. So, yeah, the drive at least does work, albeit with many bad sectors. But I'm not sure if that is a victim of the night of old age or rustling in the mail, or yeah, maybe this drive was defective from the beginning. Who knows if this thing got jostled around in the last 20 years before I got it, but to see one of these working in any capacity, from what I gathered, is a small miracle. So I guess for you hard drive nerds out there, oh, I'm called a nerd, and I call myself that all the time, so join the club. But yes, this is a Western Digital 11600 in working fashion, mostly working fashion, and probably the only one that's ever going to be on YouTube anytime soon, unless somebody else randomly decides to do that. But of course, if you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, as always, you may leave them in the comments section as you wish. And as always, thank you for watching. I don't think we need to see the rest of this install go, but as always, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a good one.